Welcome to On the Road and Hampton Roads. My name is Andy Bond, and Steve Goad and I believe in the saying that God helps those who help themselves. And so we're touring our area, meeting people who are putting that saying into practice. Today we are with Chandler Turner of Accurate Business Communications. Chandler, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy.
This is your home, and thank you for inviting us in.
You're very welcome. I hope you're comfortable.
I am, very much. In your living room.
In my living room.
Could you tell us a little bit about you and how you got to Accurate Business Communications?
You have a couple of hours?
A few minutes.
Sure. My background lent itself to the opening of this company. I've been in sales and marketing for 38 years. Gosh, I hate to say it's an awful long time, but I have. And I've been trained by some extremely good companies. Scott Paper Company, Kimberly-Clark, 3M, and the like. And I ended up being one of those people a few years ago that got laid off in this economy, and so I was looking around for something to do. Luckily, I had the background that fit.
How did your background fit with Accurate Business Communications?
That's a real good question. I called a friend of mine when I was forming the company. I knew I wanted to tie what I was going to do to the internet. It's the hot place. I think we all know that. But how was I going to do that? So I called a friend of mine, Gordon Burrell, who owns Burrell Associates in Williamsburg, and Gordon said, go look around the internet, see what you can find, see if something pops out at you. And he said, I want you to take at least 2 days to do that. I said, okay, seems like a long time but okay. And so I did. The first morning, by halfway through the first morning, I had a pretty good idea about what I wanted to do. By the end of the second day, I was absolutely certain, and what I found led directly to the way that I formed this company and what I was going to do. What I found was that websites in general, their content was appallingly bad. It didn't communicate well with anyone at any time, and it didn't make any difference what type of site it was. Gordon suggested that I start out with high-tech sites. I went through software companies, hardware companies, network companies, and then just spread out from there. And the same theme kept over and over and over again. So I realized, wow, I can help an awful lot of companies attract and retain clients and make a little money at the same time. Because if you're not making a profit, you're not going to be around too long.
That's right.
So that's what I did, and I called Gordon back and thanked him very much. And then, of course, once in a while I curse him a little bit. But it's my background lends itself to that because I've been trained in psychological communications. That's what it is. That's how understanding those pieces, whether you're in the sales game or whether you're creating website content, there is a natural and logical progression to attracting and holding people's attention effectively. And that's what I crafted this company into.
Seeing that you've been on both sides, that you were in a big company and that got laid off, and so you've experienced that low, how is it then to bounce back and experience this high? How have you been able to do that?
That's really good. Getting laid off is a scary thing. I don't care how old you are, how experienced you are, or what you've done in your life. The good thing about me is that I've been in sales for a long time, and if you learn that core very, very well, you can sell just about anything. But yeah, you certainly do go through highs and lows, and you sometimes ride the income roller coaster. We all struggle, small businesses struggle with this all the time. When you get an influx of business, you don't have time to market anymore, or you don't have as much time to market, and then all of a sudden, so you find yourself riding that roller coaster. That's the ups and downs of owning a small business. Now there are ways to correct that, and I'm working on those things constantly. But the highs, I dearly love what I do. It just so happened that I kind of sort of stumbled across this rather late in life, but I dearly love it, and I like to think I'm pretty good at it too. But when I get up in the morning, that's the difference in working for yourself sometimes. Hopefully you're doing the things that you really and truly like to do. And so I find myself working plenty of 12, 14, and 16-hour days. And my wife will come in and say, what are you doing now? Are you still working? Yeah, I'm still working. But that's the joy of it.
I would think there's a psychological roller coaster as well that I think a number of people in our audience would like to hear how you overcome that low of being laid off. There's a lot of our value comes from our job and losing that, and how do you bounce back from that psychologically?
That's a really good question. As a matter of fact, it's a tough question, and I think, well, I'll tell you what, let me answer it psychologically this way, because that's what I do. Really, a good salesperson and a good communicator, somebody who puts together website content like I do, must understand psychology, human psychology, cognition, lots of things in that realm, which is the one thing that most people who do what I won't say most people, but a lot of people in sales and marketing don't really understand. But salespeople, when they retire, tend to adjust to retirement better than any other type of profession. And I think it's because we've walked a varied path all along the way. We've done lots of things. We've been exposed to lots of things. We're used to change more than other people. We're also used to being told no a lot. and typically we're not afraid to be told no a lot. But they seem to adapt far better. I think that the last time I read research, the people that adapt worse to retirement than any other profession or physicians. So, maybe that's it. Maybe we're a little more flexible psychologically, so we adjust to those things a little more easily.
So how have you found the entrepreneurial atmosphere here in Hampton Roads? Is it favorable?
It's very strong. And of course, because the economy has forced a lot of people into being laid off, looking for jobs, opening up their own companies. Some people have chosen the path of, gee, I wish I'd always done this, and now that they've been laid off, now's my opportunity to do it. So many of those companies unfortunately fail. Probably the main reason is because they don't have the background in what they're doing. They don't have a deep enough background. Fortunately, I do, and that's one of the things that's made the difference. I've been a salesman all my life. I still am. But for the rest of the community, I belong to a number of business organizations around town. I belong to the Chamber of Commerce on the south side and the peninsula. I belong to Technology Hampton Roads. I belong to 3 or 4 different business networks around, and I talk to people every day that own small businesses. So I can tell you that it's robust. In this particular area, there's an awful lot of small businesses. There always have been. And there are some very good organizations around here to help small businesses. I've just mentioned a few. So yeah, there's a lot of small businesses around doing quite well.
So if someone wanted to start a business on their own, could you give us 1 or 2 tips that you'd share with them and with us?
Happy to.
Please.
Everybody knows that you have to have a business plan. And it should be a good one. It should be reviewed by a professional. That is the one thing where I have been extremely fortunate in the business networks around Hampton Roads and the people that I know. I have very good friends who are top flight consultants. That's one of the things that small businesses fail to do very, very often. They take pride in ownership. They take pride in what they make. They take pride in the service that they give. They stop short of asking highly skilled professionals extra advice. How do you sell things? How should I market this? How should I build my brand? Who should I talk to? Do I talk to my accountant? Thank you, Jeff Carr at Dixon Hughes Goodman, for saving me a bunch of times and introducing me to a QuickBooks Pro who has saved me probably countless hours. I'm not a technical person. Yes, I work on websites all the time, but I don't have that technical skill set. I don't have that mindset. And so turning to other professionals, asking them questions, business consultants. My friend Bill Boyer has been a godsend. Steve Goad, who's standing over here behind the camera, has been a great sounding board. But we seem to be, to a large extent, afraid to reveal things about ourselves or where we're lacking in knowledge. And maybe that's to my advantage. I'm not afraid to tell people what I don't know. We don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know. And so, but in being able to talk to people about business in general, talking to accountants, I know a ton of attorneys. Getting advice from those guys, once sitting down and having lunch with somebody who knows the business world, but that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, that we are perfectly willing. Small business owners are very, very willing to help other small business owners when they need it, and for nothing. You know, sit down and have lunch. Let's talk about the problems that are going on. Robin Segras with Segras Brand Health and I have talked any number of times about how we work with clients and how we handle branding, and other professionals will give you lots of insight that you might go, wow, why did I think of that?
Well, thank you very much, Chandler. Where can we learn more about accurate business communications, please?
You can find me all over the web. If you Google my name, Chandler Turner, and can't find me, I probably don't want to work with you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chandler, and thank you for joining us as we've gone on the road in Hampton Roads.